Hello everybody, it's Miko's Bunny, and today we're going to be reading chapter 17 of KinnPorsche. In the volume 2 is going to be the second chapter, but in the general timeline this is the chapter 17 of KinnPorsche. Hopefully today my audio is a little bit better. Last time I was using a replacement microphone, so the audio wasn't as consistent as I wish it was, but hopefully today is sounding a little bit better. I'm never using that one ever again because I did not like how the audio sounded. But hopefully right now it's a lot better. But let's get on with the book. Oh, and let me give you a little previously just in case you guys missed the previous chapter or you couldn't hear. We left off Porsche fighting being like I don't want my brother to be with you guys. We had a little bit of comedy relief at the end after a very 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 heavy chapter of essay and certain unalivement thoughts going on. Very triggering chapter. If you guys want to skip it, I will understand it. This chapter I did read a little bit ahead. We will be starting with Porsche's POV. We're no longer in sweet little Porsche's POV. I would have loved to continue his POV because where we left Porsche off, we were very much a heavy topic. I will put a trigger warning right about now on certain topics. I do not know if they will be addressed, but I do know that where we left Porsche off, it was a very, very heavy moment. So, yeah, I do want to give that warning before that. If there is any imagery that, could be triggering, I will not be putting those imageries in this. I don't want to potentially trigger anybody, but I do want to say that I will be putting timestamps when needed and if needed, okay? So just know essay will be touched. That was a terrible wording, but essay and grape will be, around. I don't know how sensitive YouTube is with certain words, but I do know TikTok is, and I do plan to re-upload these on TikTok. So potatoes. I don't know what it was trying to say, but yes. Oh, and talking about disclaimers, one of them is that I have no affiliations with Seven Seas or with why do I always forget their name? Oh yeah, Beyond Cloud. I have no affiliations with Beyond Cloud, Seven Seas, or anything. This is not an official audiobook. This is just us gays having a gay old time, okay? Second, the sign language is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. I just happen to not speak it, so if I make mistakes with certain words, I'm not trying to make fun of or make a mockery of the language. It's gorgeous, amazing. I just do not speak it. I am taking some slight Thai classes. Again, I gave up for a little bit, but I'm going to try to pick them up again. And maybe, who knows, maybe the I don't speak Thai will be dismissed. I highly doubt that, but let's give it a shot. Also, I do speak English, but English is not my first language. So even when I'm reading English, there's a chance that I probably will mess up quite a bit. I don't do that for fun. I struggle so much. I don't speak English on my day-to-day. I mostly just speak Spanish, so the only practice I have with speaking English is this. I revealed my truth. I'm only doing this so I can keep practicing my English. You guys are my test trials. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just start reading. We came here for reading, okay? We came for KinnPorsche. So, chapter 17. Emphasize. I stood still for almost a full minute before I was able to pull myself together. I quickly looked away. I tried to force my petrified legs to move, to get the hell out of there, but then a big hand grabbed me. It wasn't forceful, but it was enough to hurt my muscles as the momentum. No. Sorry. I'm reading a digital version and for a moment the tablet turned off. I didn't turn off the screen, just went blank. But back on this. Let me just read that whole chapter again. I stood still for almost a full minute before I was able to pull myself together. I quickly looked away. I tried to force my petrified legs to move, to get the hell out of there, but then a big hand grabbed me. It wasn't forceful, but it was enough. It was enough to hurt my muscles as the momentum turned me around. Not gonna say hello? Ken asked. I quickly shook his hand off, refusing to face him. What do you want? I asked curtly. Am I seeing a ghost? Because you look pale as hell, Ken said, with a laugh. He was smiling, which was unusual. I have to find my friends, I said, trying to walk away. But Ken blocked me with his arm. I gave him a dirty look and took a step backward so I didn't have to stand too close to him. How are you? He asked. I stayed silent and put my hands in my pocket, trying to look anywhere other than at him. Seems like you've recovered, he observed. I saw a girl come out of your stall. Kin crept closer and closer as I stepped back further and further. When had that happened? I wasn't sure. My body was on autopilot. Every time I heard his damn voice, I got goosebumps. What? What do you want? I stuttered, paranoia starting to surface in my mind. I wanted to I wanted to punch him hard in the face for once, but I couldn't control my body at all. All I could do was let him follow me, even as my back hit the wall. Nothing. Just saw that girl's face when she left. What did you do to her? Ken asked, clearly amused. Suddenly, there was voices outside the restroom. I recognized them as Tim and John. They were having a colorful conversation as they approached. How about we try cock blocking Porsche? I saw him go in there with like a girl. I hadn't managed to squeeze myself past Kin. His hand then snatched me and guided me back into the stall, the same one I had just left, and locked the door. What are you doing? I yelled, wanting to get out of this cramped stall. Shh! Ken pressed a finger against his lips. Then Ken pressed a finger against his lips, then held both of his arms over me and kept me from escaping. My back and my head hit the wall. I pressed firmly against it, sinking all the way back and trying to get as far away from Ken as I could. Move! I whispered, hearing the restroom door open and Tim and John's footsteps stopped right in front of my stall. Hey, Porsche! John's annoying voice hollered. Uh-huh, must be the one. Must be this one. You got yourself a quick snack, huh? I didn't know how to handle the situation. Should I cry for help? But if I cried for help, wouldn't they question why the hell I was in there alone with Kin? Shit! Hey, let me hear your voice. The shadows under the door gap The shadows under the door gap belonged to Tem and John. It sounded like they were pressing their ears against the stall. Ken giggled. What's so funny? Let me go, I said, my voice barely more than a whisper, as I pushed his chest with my palms. You didn't finish, did you? Ken whispered back, his face inched closer as if to help me hear him better. How would you know? I scrunched my face in annoyance, keeping my voice as quiet as possible. This stall was claustrophobic as hell, and my idiot friends were right outside the door. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave now. Why did this bastard have to shove me in here? A guy like you would last longer than that. Let me guess. You couldn't get it up for her. Ken murmured in my ear. He was right. Fuck. I shut my eyes trying to turn away from him as our bodies drew closer and closer and closer together. Ken's cologne and his musky scent underneath it hit my nose. My heart pounded so fast that I skipped a beat. I found myself excited and unsettled at the same time. Get out, I said, my voice trembling. What are you doing in there? Wait, sorry. What are you doing in there? Meditating? Why are you so quiet, Porsche? Make some noise! Woo-hoo! John hadn't given up trying to be a nuisance. What if that's not Porsche? Said Tim. Of course it's him. I saw him go in there. Damn it! For fuck's sake, John, why are you observant right now? Fuck you. Help me, you fucking asshole. But no, No matter how much I wanted to scream and get out of there, I'd be too ashamed to give my friends an explanation. What are you afraid of? Kinn's husky voice whispered in my ear, sending a shiver down my spine. The hard tip of his nose, you heard that correctly, I said nose, softly nudged the crook of my neck. Once again, my body froze, powerless. I was disgusted with myself. Right now, I should be kicking Kinn of shoving his face on the toilet like a school bully in a 90s cartoon and flushing him down. but but it was only a fantasy. All I could really do right now was turn away from his touch. Kinn's hot breath brushing my neck sparkled memories from that night. You know, that night at the hotel. The images flashing right behind my eyes. You want my help? I can give you some release. Kinn breathed. Yes, I breathed? Yeah. Kinn breathed. I lifted up my trembling hands, trying to him back, but push him back by the stomach. But I was too late. No. His hand got to my pants first, undoing the button and unzipping my fly. I'm gonna be in the next stall. Oh wait, sorry, who's talking? I think that's Tim. I'm gonna be in the next stall taking okay? I won't ruin your good time. Pinky promise, I swear. Tim is chilling by the sink, so don't go anywhere. Got it? Bye. I heard John say. My mind clouded over. Everything happened so fast in the blink of an eye. Kinn slid my pants and boxers down my thighs and wrapped his hand around my hoo-ha. We're censoring that. I shoved him as hard as I could, but it just wasn't enough to get him off of me. Just one touch from him was enough to make my body writhe? Yeah, in confusion, denial, and, well, first and foremost, pleasure. I was in a daze. Huh. At this point, you're still gonna say no? Kinn purred, his eyes glancing down to where my hoo-ha was. Betraying me, you little thieving bastard, you betrayer, you traitor. It's a part of me. Why would you trade me for him? But yes, it stood hard and aching, completely unlike a moment ago, you fucking traitor. Let me go. No more, I said, my voice hitching, both my hands trying to bat his away, but every time I resisted, he squeezed me harder. Shh, don't worry. I'm not gonna fuck you. I'm just helping you, reach pinnacle. Thank you, Burlington, for giving me a word I can use for that. Reach pinnacle. Kinn pinned one of my arms to the wall as I shook my hand. Once again, my heart was too weak to resist him, and this time I wasn't under the influence of any drugs. My body refused to fight back. It responded readily to Kinn's touch, just like that faithful night. Damn it. Yeah, I'm not moaning for you guys. Don't. I quickly covered my mouth with my free hand, afraid my voice would escape. Kinn's face began slowly. Kinn's hand. I said his head. Where am I? I need an adult. Kinn's hand began to slowly, me. His face nuzzled my jawline as he smelled my neck. He smelled that cheap-ass perfume. I kept my eyes tightly shut. Nah, he probably doesn't use cheap perfume. He probably uses really classy. I don't know perfume names, but he wears one that's really classy. Look, I kept my eyes tightly shut, refusing to look at him. I was completely cornered, unable to dodge left or right. My body tingled, and the wound in my heart was ripped back open. I promise I won't do anything else, Kinn murmured in my ear. Maybe he noticed that my body was trembling. He nibbled at my ear. I think they made a mistake here. I think it should be he nibbled at my ear and dragged his tongue all over the side of my face. His hand continued to me off. His pace growing faster and faster and faster. My body contorted in pleasure. After 3 drinks, the alcohol in my veins seemed to heighten the sensation. Why did this feel so different from how it had with that girl? Ah, I moaned when Kin's thumb glided over my hoo-ha-ha-ha head, circling it, his hand gripping me tighter. I didn't know. I should put a time skip, right? Yeah, I'm gonna add a time skip because not everyone. Because holy cow, we're going into details now. Oh, we were already going into details earlier. It's kind of just finally hit me, like the arousal that Porsche's feeling. Yeah, let's go with that. I didn't know when he unpinned me after from I didn't know when he'd unpinned my hand from the wall, but I found myself bracing it on his shoulder as I got carried away in the rhythm of his strokes. He took advantage of my pleasured hazed state and pulled my hand away from my mouth. He guided it under his shirt, making me feel his well-muscled abdomen. I vividly remember this feeling of rock-hard muscles and smooth skin beneath my fingertips. The way it had made me lose control, I ran my hand all over him. Well, he is a very handsome man. Like Apple? Handsome. That's why they picked him to play him in the live action. Makes sense. Hey, Porsche? Ken panted heavily as I let out a soft moan. I'm not moaning for you guys, you already know that. When he pressed and rubbed his thumb over the head of my hoo-ha again, I could barely stand it. My head snapped up as I bit down hard on my lip, trying to suppress the feeling. Don't stop the feeling. Sorry. I can't take this anymore, Ken said before using his free hand to unbuckle his pants. Oh, he pulled out his hoo-ha. And lined it up with mine. Oh no. His hoo-ha and his hoo-ha. They're touching hoo-has. He pulled out his hoo-ha and lined it up against mine so he could stroke both our hoo-has at the same time. What is this hoo-ha nonsense? When did I start saying hoo-ha? New sensations coursed through my body, a tingling thrill that was pleasurable. And in a way I couldn't describe it. Look, I can't describe it either. You're the one narrating. Well, I'm narrating. One of us is narrating, but none of us know what we're doing. We're just in this moment. I'm like that SpongeBob meme. Like, Kid's hand slid under my shirt to caress my abdomen before moving up to my chest. He squeezed and necked my pecs and played with my nipples. Sending shivers down my body. I'm not moaning for you guys, but he did. Tilting his head to kiss me, he sucked and nibbled at my lips, pressing our mouths so tightly together that I had to gasp for air. Honey, I have to gasp for air for a different reason, but he took advantage of my open mouth and invaded me with his hot tongue, curling it against mine. I tried to push his tongue out, but it ended up an invitation for him to suck on it, no, resulting in an even deeper kiss. I'm not moaning for you guys. Ken increased his pace. A loud moan. How did I say it like that? The moan tumbled from my throat, unbidden. Now I'm gonna start uncomfortably laughing now. Bang, 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 bang. Gnarly. Just said bang, bang, bang. I don't know. The rhythm just came to me. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, it's gang, 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 gang. Not bad. Okay, just. Hey, keep it down in there, John snickered from the next stall over. The banging made me flinch, snapping me out of it. I opened my eyes, watching in dismay as Kin jerked us both off. I bit down on Kin's tongue hard. Ow! Kin yelped loudly, Pulling his head away from mine, he gave me a threatening look before moving his hand even faster, so fast that my head snapped up. Okay, it was his actual head. Okay. His head, my head was were him. Are we? No, actually, you know what? This is just a Porsche only experience. We're just viewers. But he snapped his head, up to look at him once again. Porsche? Is everything alright in there? Jump, call. Jump, fucking leave. I didn't get a chance to answer him before Kin bent down to press his lips against mine. Again. He didn't he didn't invade me with his tongue this time, only nibbling on my lower lip. Then he bit down harshly. Hey, that hurt, jackass. I snapped my head and yelped at him before his face moved in closer to my ear. If you bite me again, I'll alert your friends. Kin growled before rejoining our lips. This time, he grabbed my hand, the one that had left his torso, and decided to guide it to wrap around his hoo-ha-ha. I shook my head slightly, but he forced my hand to stroke along the rhythm. My body rhythm. I'm very musically today. I want to follow my body rhythm. I'm not moaning. So moaning sounds. Kin groaned, letting me know how close he was to, pinnacle. He guided my hand to stroke his hoo-ha as he stroked mine. He increased the pacing yet again, making me gasp for breath. His fingers stimulated me, sliding up and down my, so fast that I couldn't take it any longer. I didn't know how to stay quiet, so I buried my face in his shoulders to muffle my cries as my hand involuntarily twisted in his hair. Kin nuzzled the side of my face before I finally reached my peak. My brain went blank and I shuddered as I. Oh my. Oh. How can I read that? As I reached my pinnacle all over Kin's hand. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm close. Kin whispered in my ear with a moan. I'm not moaning for you guys. Forcing my hand to stroke his hoo-ha. His body spasmed with the strength of his reaching of pinnacle. Not moaning for you guys. There's a moan right there. I'm not doing that. You can't pay me enough to moan on fucking camera. I say. I barely had any energy left. It felt like my fever was coming back, coupled with the muscle aches and the shame. I didn't dare lift my face from his shoulder. Hey, we're heading out. Hurry up. Your boss just turned up. I heard he was somewhere around here, so move it. Jom said. Yeah, he was very sensitive and really nice about that, by the way. Asshole. I heard his footsteps leaving the restroom. That was a relief. I immediately pulled myself away from Kin as my brain started to come back online. Kin stared at me and smirked. He grabbed some toilet paper to clean himself and then handed some to me so I can clean myself. Taking it from his hand, I quickly turned around and took care of myself. As soon as I pulled my pants back up, I snapped my head towards him, full of anger, and shoved his chest as hard as I could. What the fuck was that? I shouted. Earlier, it was like all my principles had evaporated entirely, but now, I regretted. Regret flooded through me nonstop. I had failed to keep control, letting my deep desires take over. What the fuck's wrong with me? Shh! Don't be like that. Kin smirked, leaning against the wall I'd pushed him into. Kin, you son of a! This has gone too far. I knew it. I was being unreasonable. Had I screamed when he came in here and immediately left the bathroom, I might have made it, but things happened so fast. Too fast, to be honest. Too fast for me to even think. I grabbed him by the collar and yanked him forward. I swore after that night that if this happened again, I would crush him. And now it had happened again. I wouldn't let him walk out so easily. I'm warning you, if you hurt me, it won't end there. I'm warning you. If you hurt me, it won't end there, Kinn said, tearing my hand away from his collar. He pointed at me threateningly, his brows furrowed. If you think I won't kick your ass here, think again. I grit my teeth in anger. My blood boiled. Heat flowing through my body as my head throbbed. If Kin started a fight right now, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to fight back. I simply shoved him hard, sending him tumbling back into the wall again. I left the stall, washed my hands, and quickly shut. Can I read? I left the stall, washed my hands quickly, and immediately walked back to my friends. Damn it! I cursed. I approached the table and was surprised to find some extra faces gathered around it. What's up, man? Did you have a good time? Tim greeted me with a grin. I shot him a dirty look, which surprised him. Hey, man, are you okay? I was so worried, Pete said, coming over to me with a troubled expression on his face. There were a bunch more people at our table, like Time, Tay, Pete, and a few other bodyguards that I recognized. I'm fine, I answered brusquely. How did you get here? Well, one of Mr. Kinn's associates owns this place, so yeah, the boss ordered us to come, so we had to bring him. Pete said, then tipped his head toward a spot in front of the stage where Tankun was busy dancing. Now it made sense that I had run into that bastard Kinn in the bathroom. I placed my hand on my hips loosely before heaving out a sigh. I'm leaving, I said. I pushed past people to reach the table and grabbed my wallet and my phone. Tam and John looked at me a bit confused. What the hell, Porsche? We only just got here. Why are you leaving already? Hey, one of Kinn's friends cried out. I gave him one annoyed glance. Why are you joining us like this, huh? Were there no other tables, damn it? Dude, don't leave now. The fun's just started, Tim said, standing up and grabbing my arm. He took my phone and wallet from my hand. I have a fever, I'm leaving, I told him. I wasn't staying in the bar no matter what. Ah. Oh, is someone screaming? Oh, it's Tanku. Ah! Portia! It's so good to see you. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Drink, 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 drink. Tankun turned over. Slinging his arms around my shoulder, he picked up a glass and forced it into my hand. I glanced daggers at him, but he smiled from ear to ear and forced me to drink. He told me to take a drink. Boss, I'm not feeling well. I'm leaving, I hissed. Tankun didn't listen. A guy like him? Listen? Ha! He made me hold the drink in my hand and force it into my mouth. I had no other choice but to swallow it down. Chug, 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 chug. Yay! Tankin cheered. I drank the whole glass, hoping he would leave me alone if I finished it, but he didn't. He didn't let go of me. Instead, he wrestled me into a headlock, dragging me toward the stage. Then he shouted along with the singer. When my shitty life gives me shitty lemons, when it's not me that she wants, what can I do? 'Cause it's time to let go of you. Do I know what the song actually sounds like? No. Was that a good improv? Also no. I let out a long sigh. Tankun yelled, weaving his glass along to the music. If we're gonna get screwed, just let it be. Curling up in pain won't help anything. Again. Music brought to you by me not knowing the song. The lyrics spewing from the singer felt like a punch in the gut. Yeah, they were singing directly to you, damn. This is all for you, directly for you. At the same time, Kinn emerged from the bathroom. He spared me a quick glance before going to join his friends. All this pain, let's celebrate it. Cheers to love because it's shitty. Cheers to life cause life's a pity. Let's drink at all the shit for once. Drink to the disappointments. Music brought to you by me, not knowing the lyrics. Or the song in general. That singer and Kun kept yelling into my ears. Yeah, keep it coming. Thanks for reminding me that my life's fucking shit. Fuck you. Mm. The song hit too close to home, okay? I reached back for a drink from the table and chugged it down, hoping it would wash away some of my, fucked up feelings. I inched closer to Kun and yelled in his ear, Mr. Tankun, I'm leaving! Tankun turned to me annoyed and bratty. No! If you try to leave, I'll trash this place. Why me? On the outside, I looked at him calmly, but inside, I hated his guts. I wanted to kill his entire fucking family. God damn it! Make them go extinct. Both of these brothers were the bane of my existence. And that's that you haven't. You're saying that you still haven't met the third one. Boss, please, I'm sick. I insisted. No, 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 no. Tankun yelled, turning to mix me another drink and shoving it into my hand. I held the glass, completely fed up with him. Watch it, Tankun, or one day I'll feed you rat poison. I was gonna kill. Nah, I wasn't. This entire family. Nah, I wasn't. The younger brother just violated. Yeah, he did. He violated you in the bathroom. And now the older one was forcing me to get wasted. My heart was going to burst from all the rage I was suppressing. Oh yeah, your brother was fighting the actual youngest sibling. Oof. I heard a new voice over the loud music. Hello, Pekin? Oh, Pikun? You're here too? What a coincidence. Everyone at the desk turned around to see Vegas standing there with a drink in his hand. He was smiling at his cousin Kin, who smiled back. Oh, Vegas, are you here with someone? Kin asked. I'm here with my friends over there, he gestured. Pikun is drunk already? He shifted his gaze to, Ward Tankun, who looked furious as he glared at Vegas aggressively. Who's like, Vegas looked past Kun and broke into an even bigger smile when he saw me. I nodded at him to say hi. Vegas, what the f are you doing here? Tankun screamed loudly. Well, it's a bar, okay? I think I'm here to do laundry. I don't know. Maybe. Dumb bitch. Vegas smirked. This just made Tankun angrier. He readied himself to lunge at Vegas, who stood there smiling calmly. I quickly held Tankun back by his arm. Why are you stopping me, huh? I'll make you fucking bleed, Vegas. Tankun yapped like a mad dog, his arms flapping in an attempt to shake me off. I managed to hold my grip on him until Pete and the other bodyguards got up to stop their boss. Oh, Pecan! So good with your fights, I see. Why don't you try, using your brain for once? Maybe things will work out better for you. Vegas said playfully. He seemed harmless, but his mouth, oh, that was a piece of work. Vegas, you little shit. You're a dead man. Kun went berserk, forcing his arms and legs free from our hold. He picked up an ice bucket, preparing to dump it on Vegas. Kun, don't please, Kun! Ken yelled for his brother to stop, but it was too late. Slam, crash. Kun dumped the ice Kun dumped the ice bucket on Vegas. Luckily, Vegas dodged it, and only a little of the water splashed his clothes. The music stopped abruptly, every pair of eyes in the bar moving to glare at us. The owner ran out to check, the situation. What's going on, Kin? The owner asked. It's all right, Pinung. Did I say it? Nung? Just an accident, Kin said. Nung didn't seem convinced. Ken ordered us bodyguards to separate. Tankun and Vegas, actually, it was more like a prying. It was almost like, prying Tankun away from Vegas because Kun wasn't done throwing, his Tankun was having a temper tantrum. Just know that. He was temper tantrum. Why do I always confuse that? I always say it wrong. Look, he was acting like a madman, to what matters, okay? He was just acting like a big baby. Once I saw that Vegas and Kun had gone their separate ways and everything was back to normal, I escaped the chaotic bar and went to have a smoke outside. What a fucking day this was. I pushed my hand through my hair in frustration. Fuck, could this get any worse? I cursed. Are you alright? Came a friendly voice. Vegas walked up to me with a pack of cigarettes in hand. He picked one out and lit it up, joining me for a smoke. Oh, yeah, I said, holding the cigarette between my fingers. I took a drag and blew out the smoke. I glanced at him out of the corner of my eyes before asking, Are you alright? Oh, got some water on me, but it's fine, Vegas said, dis- with no, with no discernible trace of anger. He was so chill about it. He couldn't be more different from Tankun, who likely wasn't done throwing a fit. You're here to guard my cousin today? Vegas said with a smile. Nah, I just ran into them, I said truthfully. Would you like to go out drinking? He asked. I nodded in reply. And are you drunk yet? Vegas continued. Nah, I haven't had that much, I answered. Hey, Porsche, I thought you left here. Here you are, Tim said as he walked up to me. I offered him a cigarette, which he took from me and lit it up. Hey, Tim. Hi, Vegas. How are you? How was your shower? Tim joked, lifting Vegas up and down. Not too bad. What's the deal with you guys? Tim asked, curious. John must, traded punches. Traded? That's all him, okay? I didn't do anything, Vegas said with an amused smile. Tim nodded in agreement. Tim, I'm leaving, I told my friend. Tim hesitated. You don't want to stay in it a little longer? I don't think John will leave easily. I don't think John will leave so easily. You can stay here with John. I'll take a cab, I said. I didn't want to ruin my friend's night out. I'd gotten, I'd gotten here in Tim's car, so I figured he, he thought it was his responsibility to drive me home. How about this? I'll give you a ride home first, then I'll come back and I'll come back for John. It's fine. I'll make it home by myself, I said, serious. I didn't want to be anyone's burden, and Tim seemed like he wanted to stay. Porsche, where do you live? Vegas asked. Oh, down that way, I replied politely. That's in the same direction I'm heading anyway, so let me drop you off so it's not a hassle for Tim. Vegas said with a smile. I didn't know why Vegas was always so happy. Ever since I met him, all he did was smile, 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 and more smile. And some more smile. Did he feel anything aside from happiness? It's okay, Vegas. Please stay and have fun. I'll be fine. I politely declined. Even though we'd met several times now, I didn't feel close enough to him to ask for a ride. I'm leaving anyways. My clothes are wet, so I don't think I'll be having any fun if I stay, Vegas said, gesturing to his outfit. I gave it some thought. Well, if you don't mind me being a nuisance, I said. It may have been my imagination, but I think I saw a strange glint in his eyes. It surprised me, but I try not to think too much about it. He probably just wanted to make friends. Then we should go to get our things, Vegas said before going back into the bar. I threw my cigarette butt away and followed him inside. When I got back into the table, when I got back to the table, this time I noticed not to tell. I decided not to tell that I was leaving. I tried to be inconspicuous. As I grabbed my stuff, I saw Tankung in front of the stage, jumping up and down with one of Kin's friends. So I felt he was, distracted enough that I could probably easily leave. I grabbed my phone and my wallet and left the club, ignoring Kin's piercing eyes. I didn't want to look at him. I pretended he wasn't even there, okay? I was like, not this time, Satan. I marched out of the bar once I marched out of the bar once I retrieved my things. Tim followed me outside one more time to see me off. Meanwhile, John was absolutely plastered, rolling around on the sofa. I walked up to Vegas, who was waiting for me in front of the bar. He smiled as soon as he saw me. I returned the gesture just to be polite. Tell me when you're home. Yeah, tell me when you're home, Tem insisted, then gave Vegas a nod. Goodbye. Vegas started to lead me over to the parking lot when we were stopped by a familiar voice. Who's stopping you? Where are you going? Oh, Porsche's leaving, Tim answered for me. Ken walked up to grab my arm, forcing me to look at him. And he's leaving with? He asked coldly, sending a shiver down my spine. I shook off his hand and turned away. With me, Pekin. Porsche's place is on the way anyway, Vegas chirped. Who said you could go? Ken growled. He glared at me, deathly serious. I'm not working today. I can leave whenever I want, I protested. I had a profound urge to run away. I'm not letting you go, Ken vowed, emphasizing each word. Oh wait, so it's supposed to be like, I'm not letting you go, Ken vowed, emphasizing each word. He stared straight at me. I started to get uncomfortable and tried to shift away from him a few times, but he always pulled me back. What right do you have? I retorted, frustrated. Do you want a list? Ken crept closer, his voice dropping so low that only I could hear him. I shoved, I shoved at his chest weakly. He had my wrist in an iron grip. I couldn't shake it off. I was too weak due to so many things, injury for one, but my mental state as well. I told you not to get too close to Vegas. I told you to stay away from the minor clan. He hissed, pulling me closer. I didn't give a damn that Tam and Vegas were watching. Ken's voice wasn't loud enough for them to hear what we were talking about anyways. That's my business, I snarled, trying to twist my wrist out of his grip. Hey Ken, what's the matter? Vegas asked, walking closer to us. Nothing, I'll drive him myself. Go home, Vegas, Ken commanded without even looking at his cousin. His gaze was fixed only on me with no intention of backing down. But it's no trouble. Let me give him a ride, Vegas said. As soon as I managed to get my wrist free from Ken's hand, Vegas nodded at me to come with him. I took a quick glance at Ken. He let out a sigh and put his hands in my pockets, looking like he was trying to hide some emotion. Vegas smiled at his cousin, but Ken didn't seem to return the gesture one bit. Go back and have fun, Pekin, Vegas said. Don't worry, I'll... Vegas, I think you'd better stay out of this. Porsche's my man. Whoa, 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 whoa. My man? Mmm. He's my man. Vegas, I think you better stay out of this. Porsche's my man. I can handle him. Ken cut Vegas off before he could finish. Vegas smiled slowly, faltered. His eyes went blank for a moment before he forced a smile. Fine, Vegas said, complying easily with Ken's demand. Ken's hand gripped my arm again and pushed me toward the parking lot. Porsche? Tim called. Watching everything unfold, I could see the questions written on his face. He he called out quietly when he saw Ken gripping my arm and dragging me like that. If you don't want to freak your friend out, walk nicely. Be good, Ken whispered in my ear, so I took a deep breath and turned to Tim. It's nothing, you can go, I told him. Call me when you're home, okay? Tim said. I nodded at him. Then Ken's hand resumed pulling me along with him. Once we reached his car, he forced me into the passenger seat. I had to admit that I felt paranoid at this point. I was starting to get scared of Ken. When I was with him, it felt like all my strength got sucked right out of me. There was only Porsche, a scared little boy with no way to fight back. As soon as Ken's swanky car rolled out of the parkling, Jesus. As soon as Ken's swanky car rolled out of the parking lot, he yelled at me. How many times have I told you to stay away from Vegas? What is it to you? I can talk to anybody I want. Don't stick your nose into my business, I said angrily, pointedly looking out the car window. I didn't want to see his face. I didn't want to be near him either, okay? His mere presence reminded me of those horrible moments, made them replay in my head over and over and over again. Why not? I've already stuck my nose. Wait, why not? I've already stuck more than my nose into you. I wanted to kick him in the face. I tried to block out his words, purposefully ignoring the innuendo. I'm warning you, if you go near Vegas, you won't hear the end of it. Kinn snarled, his face twisted in anger. He stepped on the gas, making me jerk back in my seat. It wasn't the speed that scared me, it was him. I was scared something was going to happen to me after this. Sitting here alone with him was already unbearable. My resolve was so weak I couldn't believe that this was happening. Like what I had, what I had become. The pain in my heart hung over me like a shadow. I tried to forget everything that had happened between Ken and me, but I couldn't. I just loathed myself even more. I hated and hated and hated, and it was still not enough. I didn't know what to do, especially after my body had betrayed me. I didn't know how to cope with how disgusted I was. Ken and I drove the rest of the way to my house in total silence. He strictly followed my directions, which made me feel a little better. I was worried he was planning to take me somewhere else and touch me again, but he didn't, you know, to my huge relief at least. I could feel my fever flaring, my eyelids were heavy, and my brain felt muddled, and cloudy. My symptoms were much worse than back at the bar. Ken's car finally slowed down in front of my house. As soon as the car stopped, Ken attempted to feel my forehead. Do you still have a fever? I pushed his hand away. Let me check your temperature, Ken said, one hand behind sneaking one hand behind me to hold my neck in place and trying to place the other hand on my forehead. Let me go. I battled. I batted his arm away, using my strength to resist him. I'm just checking on you. Don't like me being gentle, huh? Ken spoke up before inching his face closer to mine. He held my neck and invaded me with another kiss, but I never gave in to him. Again, I used my arms and legs to shove and kick him away. Let me go, Ken! Stop being such a scumbag! I'm so disgusted with myself, you bastard! I screamed and pushed him so hard that his back hit the car door. I quickly opened the door on my side and stormed out of his car as fast as I could. I half walked, half jogged, immediately retreating into my house. I quickly walked to my room and flopped on the bed, feeling like I was going to pass out. My vision was starting to go back. Going, Jesus. My vision was starting to go black. Maybe I just spent too much energy on dealing with everyone's bullshit today. My body hadn't fully recovered and my fever hadn't gone down completely. My head throbbed in pain, but I couldn't even bring myself to go pick up my medication. I lay completely still with my eyes closed as horrible feelings continuously flowed through me. Why had I let myself do that with Kid in the bathroom? It made me sick. A strong wave of nausea crawled in my throat. I jerked my head to the side, held it over next to my bed. Jeez, I'm gonna read that sentence again. I jerked my head to the side, held it over next to my bed, and puked out everything I had bottled up onto my bedroom floor. I'd been holding so many things inside of me, and my body was completely overwhelmed. It had to come out. Okay, here, Che called out, opening my bedroom door. I didn't know what kind of face he made or how surprised he was because I was barely conscious. I could vaguely sense the damp cloths on my body and my sweaty face. I might have swallowed some pills and water. Like I wasn't sure. After that, I drifted out. I drifted off to sleep, unaware of anything. Look, I fell asleep. It was too much. I was out. I was out. It's like cold out. Maybe the next day. Ding. I woke up, checked the door. I woke up, checked the clock. and found it was already noon the next day. The ache in my head and my body had subsidized. I looked around, noticed that the air conditioner had been turned on, and that there was a tray of food and medicine left out for me like yesterday. Jane must have cleaned up after last night. My room looked spotless. I poured myself a glass of water as I took a sip. I saw a yellow sticky note on the rim of my plate. It was a short message from my brother. Don't forget your food and meds. Yeah, I'm worried. His messy chicken scratch made me smile. I was hit by the realization that I needed to stop mess I needed to stop myself from sinking deeper into this nightmare. I didn't want my brother to worry about me like this ever again. I called Tim. Is class over? John and I didn't go. We're glued to the bed, man, Tim said. His sluggish voice told me just how hammered they must have gotten after I left. Are you free around 6? I asked. Pick me up at my place, please. Where are you going? Can you take me to that house? I've got some unfinished business. Uh-huh, Tim affirmed. I'll be there around like 5:30, okay? Once I finished my meal and took my medicine, I showered and got dressed, then waited around for Tim to come pick me up. I thought everything through and I couldn't stand it anymore. Tim came to pick me up and John tagged along. I guided them to the house where I worked. Tim didn't ask me much, just let me sit with my thoughts. John didn't bother me either. He was so hungover. Look, he, he passed out like in the back seat, so he was basically not there. Like emotional support, my ass. Once the car pulled up to the fence, I told Tim to stand by. This wouldn't take long. Tim nodded and told me to call him right away if anything happened. I walked straight towards the familiar front door. The bodyguards who recognized me said hello along the way. I acknowledged them with a nod then headed toward a certain room with haste. In Mr. Corn's room! Knock knock. I took a deep breath and waited for an answer. By this time, he must be home. Come in, Pete Chan's voice answered, so I turned the doorknob and stepped in. Oh, Porsche, what is it? I greeted both Pete Chan and Mr. Corn with a wide gesture. Sorry about that. They looked busy with a bunch of paperwork piled up on the desk. I approached them with a solemn expression on my face. Have a seat, Mr. Corn said. I sat down in the chair in front of his desk, pressing my lips into a thin line. What is it? I filled my lungs with another deep breath, closed my eyes for a second, then spoke firmly. I'd like to quit, sir. As soon as I said it, both P. Chan and Mr. Corn looked up at me, completely abandoning their paperwork. What happened? P. Chan asked in a stern voice. I just want to quit, sir, I said, addressing Mr. Corn. I don't think I belong here. I couldn't look him in the eye. The entire time I worked here had he been so kind to me. I respected him. Did Kinn do something? He asked. I flinched a bit when I heard the name. Then suddenly my head slowly. No, I don't want to do this anymore, I said calmly. Why? If there's a problem, you can tell me. Mr. Corn put down his pen and folded his hands onto the desk, his eyes still serenely focused on me. I really don't want to stay here. As for the termination fee, I promised to pay it back, I said. I let out a sigh, relieved to get. Relieved to get the words out, but I felt uncomfortable, from staring at his staring at me, those beautiful eyes. Mr. Corn sighed wearily. If anything is bothering you, you can tell us. You can tell me. If you're stressed out or exhausted, then go get some rest. I'll let you take a leave of absence, but I'm not terminating your employment right now, he said. I I thought it through. I really don't want to do this anymore, I stubbornly insisted. You know I care for you like one of my own sons. If you need to go get some rest, think about it carefully. Try separating work from personal matters. Give your mind a break. After that, you can properly think it through. Why? I asked. I've seen a lot of things. Just one look at you, I can tell if something is bothering you. Take some time off to rest. Let's say 7 days, Mr. Corn said. After that, if your answer is still the same, I won't hold you back. I don't want to force anyone to stay against their will. Mr. Corn took a sip from his coffee mug. I became even more tense. Today or 7 days from now, my decision would be the same. Well, I thought it over thoroughly and I knew I wanted to quit. In 7 days, come meet me up, okay? I'll be waiting for your answer, Mr. Corn said, standing up from his chair. 7 days, Rose. Get some rest. I don't want to hear anything else right now. And I really do hope that in 7 days your answer will be different, Mr. Horn said, ignoring my protest. He disappeared into a smaller room in the back. P-Time gestured to the door. I watched Mr. Corn leave, then bade P-Time farewell. He said goodbye with a wide gesture before exiting the room. Hey, Porsche, let's grab some dinner, Arm called out to me. I really wasn't in a good mood, so I just made a beeline to the front door and got into Tim's waiting car. I didn't get it. Why couldn't Mr. Corn just let me leave? It was so clear that I couldn't work here anymore. I even promised to pay them for terminating the contract. Why did nothing in my life ever go how I hoped? I should have left today. I to save myself all this trouble for my sake and for my brother's sake, but nothing went my way at all. Mr. Corn refused to listen to me, saying I had to come back in a week. I wanted to cut them out of my life now, so I couldn't, so I wouldn't have to, so I wouldn't have to be reminded of all the trauma I had been through. I wanted to forget it all. Tim drove me home. He did ask me what happened, but I refused to answer, and thankfully he didn't press any further. If you're in trouble, you can always call me, Tim said with concern in his voice. I nodded, then waved him goodbye until his car took off. I walked into my house in a miserable mood. I noticed Jay on the couch playing on his phone. He looked up at me in surprise. Eh? I thought you were at work, yeah? Yeah. I'll go around the corner. What do you want to eat? I ignored him and went straight to my room upstairs. I needed to lie down. I was so pissed off that my head was throbbing again. Later, Tay came up and shook me awake. Yeah, please come eat. I, I barely woke up. This must be barely woke up. Because I'm not the only one who makes mistakes. After I laid down last night, I had passed out cold. Now it was already past 8. Both the fever and the side effects of my medicine had completely jumbled my head. I was exhausted. I washed my face and followed my brother downstairs. I found out that he had already set the table and prepared my food. Che stared at me expectingly, you know, expect. Che stared at me expectantly as he ate, but I was too tired to explain anything to him. Let's just wait 7 days. When I quit for real, I'll tell him. I didn't know if Mr. Corn was trying to come up with some convincing speech right now, but there was nothing he could say that would make me stay. Bam, bam, bam! Someone was pounding at the door. Che and I both looked up in confusion. It was such a violent knocking, like someone was trying to break down the door. Whoever was doing it better cut this out or I'd kick their ass. They couldn't have been, maybe gentle. We still have heard it, damn. I'll get it, Chase said, running out the kitchen to open the door. I was worried for him, so I followed close behind. Yeah, it's your friend, Che hollered before I left the kitchen. I walked up to see who had decided to visit me at this late an hour. As soon as I recognized the broad figure in front of me, my heart skipped a beat. Kinn! Ah! He was standing at the entrance, his face a picture of rage. Porsche, he exclaimed when he saw me. I took a few steps back and looked at him, stunned. I didn't know what to do. Who said you could quit, huh? And that is the end of chapter 17. Whoa, that's quite great. It's probably my longest reading KinnPorsche ever. Holy. But yep, that is the end of chapter 17, also known as chapter 2 of volume 2. Wow, a lot happened. Like, a lot. I'm still processing some things. But I will definitely put that time skip because it's needed. And the dogs behind me agree. Yeah, we're gonna say that. But yeah, that's the end of that chapter. If you guys been liking my readings, you guys can like, comment, and subscribe. And I do have a playlist so you guys can, hear the first volume and also the rest of the second volume. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day, night, wherever you are, however you are, and also happy Chinese New Year. I don't know if I said that, but happy Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year or Spring Festival, however you call it, wherever you call it. Everyone has their own way. We are finally in the year of the horse, so horse girls, it's your year, woohoo, or nay. Pero, yeah, I'm still gonna have to process what I just read, and put that time skip because we definitely do need that. But yeah, other than that, I want to, hope you guys have a good day, night, wherever you are, however you are, and blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah.